What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Bob Arum. Bob Arum is worried and concerned over his fighter, Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury. He has his concerns, and this is what he said. He said, "As always, once this fight was made, I always felt that Fury was a big favorite because I thought his size and his boxing ability would be too much for Usyk. So I looked at it as a 3 or 4 out of 1 fight in favor of Tyson Fury. But I'm troubled with the way Tyson looked in his last fight with Ngannou and Riyadh. I was there. I thought he looked dreadful. Now, there are 2 explanations. 1, he really didn't train hard for the fight. Or 2, when we put on years, we don't function as well as we do when we were younger, physically. So is this what we're seeing with Tyson based on the Ngannou fight? Or was it just he didn't take it seriously and wasn't prepared? We'll find out May 18th. Let me clear my throat. Those are the words and spirit of Bob Arum. And let me counterpunch. Bob is concerned with how Tyson looked. I mean, you're only as good as your last fight. I think a lot of people should be concerned. And it just goes to show you that Bob Arum saying what he's saying. I think Bob is too old at this point in his life to lie or to bullshit or to give some type of free or fake impression of how he thinks his fighter is. He thinks that Tyson Fury looked dreadful, okay? And he didn't look too good. And he's like, oh, hey, maybe he's past his prime. It's past his time due to how he aged, due to his lifestyle, due to just being older or getting older. Or he didn't take Francis Ngannou seriously. How about this? Maybe it was a little bit of both. Maybe it was the fact that Tyson was so eager to get in there with this quote-unquote freak fight with Francis Ngannou because Francis has never boxed a day in his life versus a guy that thinks he's the best fighter that came out his mom's you-know-what. And I think in the midst of that, he didn't train like he's supposed to. Therefore, he thought that certain things he had to do was going to work for him, and that wasn't the case. Okay? The truth of the matter is Francis Ngannou was prepared mentally, and he was prepared physically, and he was prepared spiritually, and he was prepared to go 10 rounds with Tyson Fury. Regardless of what Tyson was going to do, he was ready. Now, does that mean Tyson could have done more? We'll never know because, unless he fights him again and shuts him out. That's the only way we'll know if Tyson does that. But if Francis, is coming off that moral victory over Tyson Fury and beating him up and dropping him and slapping him around and taking an elbow in the face from Tyson and still, Superman punching this cat and doing all these things to him and, he was the winner that night. And I think Bob Arum knows it. I think Bob Arum's seen it. And he's worried on how Tyson was because he's not sure or convinced that Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, is still the guy that he used to be when he was whooping Wilder 18 times. Okay, so he just doesn't know, which is the most honest answer that you can give anybody. You got 2 options. Either he's past his prime or he didn't take him seriously. But I'll tell you this for the Fury fans. If you guys can remember in 2019, Tyson Fury got cut badly against Otto Wylien. Bars. Right? However, I think that he didn't look great in that fight, but he won that fight. He won that fight more convincingly than he beat Francis Ngannou because a lot of people don't think he did that. It was a very close fight. It wasn't like that with Otto Wylien. Otto Wylien was a guy that made it very dramatic because he was able to cut not one, but two huge cuts over the eye of Tyson Fury. And Tyson had to fight through that thing just like Tim Tszyu had to do last weekend, right? He had the similar thing, but the outcome was better because he beat Arum. But he was able to fight with those cuts on his eye for 10 rounds because it happened at the end of the second. Okay, so for 10 rounds, this man had to put up with Arum smearing that damn cut or those cuts and making them worse. You know what I mean? Hitting him with certain shots. I know he caught Tyson Fury in the 12th round, and Arum's not even known to be a power puncher, and he gave Tyson Fury a rough fight. But what happened the next fight? Okay, because everybody thought that Tyson Fury, man, he might not be the same fighter. Wilder took responsibility of getting him in that position, saying that he ain't the same because of me and all this, that, and the other. Well, guess what? He came back in 2020 in February and he proved everybody wrong. Now, could that be him against Alexander Usyk? It could be. It's a possibility. If he trains like the Dickens and he shows up and he shows out and he trains hard and he does the things that he's supposed to do and he's better on the night, that could happen. And people will forget all about what happened with Francis Ngannou, now won't they? Because they exactly forgot about Arum and his fight against him once he demolished Deontay Wilder in 7 rounds. Okay, so if there's any hope for Fury, Fury is the quote-unquote comeback kid. So that could be the case if you're a Fury fan. So that's for you guys. However, Bob Arum, I don't think he's convinced, regardless of what I say. Anyway, that's my counterpunch. You guys tell me what you think about Bob Arum saying that Tyson Fury looked dreadful his last fight and he's worried that he may not be the fighter he used to be. Of course, please subscribe. You guys been Counterpunch. Peace!